Hi, I'm Risa. I'm a third-year PhD student, and this is Coming Up to PhD. Hopefully, this is able to help you on your journey of becoming a PhD student, but not necessarily all PhD advice, general advice that can be used for undergrads and also like graduate school students. Congratulations on entering now your interview phase of your application process. I hope that the rest of this video is helpful for you. And yeah.
No such thing as a life that's better than yours. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. Love yours.
I have less than 30 minutes to get ready and be out the door. So that is exactly what I am going to do. Biggest advice is definitely narrowing down your purpose of why do I want to go here? What is it that I want to fulfill? What benefit would I receive from attending this university? And why is it important for me to conduct the research that I want to be conducting, and why can it solely be at this place, is what I would say you would need to narrow down for your interview. Majority of the time, you have already written about this in your statement of purpose, or if you did short responses, it's already on there, which is great. But having an interview, whether it's you're starting your undergrad or you're going into graduate school, mainly I feel like the focal points of what I'm speaking about is leaning towards graduate school, but I feel like this can be a wide range for anything and everything, because I feel like within my journey I've been able to do a little bit about both. It's something that has definitely helped me, is being able to keep the same rhythm for that. So you should know who is going to be interviewing you, so it would be great to know more or less this is like vanilla, more or less like who this person is, what have they published, if this could potentially be your advisor. For me, that wasn't necessarily the case. I applied directly to a scholarship for my graduate school program, which has allowed me, given me the privilege of being where I am now, which is a dual degree program between the US and Portugal, and the scholarship is extremely competitive. Out of all the applicants, only 7 were selected. I was one of the 7. And this process was extremely nerve-wracking in a sense, because of the pressure that there is in trying to find a program that is fully funded. Typically for STEM, the majority are. But now with the current dynamic, that may not always be true. You probably may be funded for the first year and you have to find funding externally, whatever that may be. But okay, getting back to the point, interviewing. Research the program, try to refocus on what it is that you wrote in your purpose statement. Trying to find your why is very important. This is the opportunity that you have for these individuals who are interviewing you to get to know you apart from what they've read about you. So sometimes they may just like skim through your application, whatever it may be, but now they want to know like who you will be matched with if there were to potentially be a match. It is a great opportunity for you to speak about these things of what it is that you want to do in the future, why the work that you want to do is important, and how that fits within this university, and why specifically you want to attend here. So knowing how to market yourself, what skills do you have and what skills do you not have that being a part of this program would allow you to continue to excel and allow you to move forward in where you want to be in life, I think is very important. Because at the end of the day, like, yes, this university might be an asset to you, but the end question will always be, how are you going to be an asset for this university? For me personally, I went straight from undergrad into my PhD program. I can say like I never necessarily felt like I was not ready for graduate school. I feel like the opportunities that I took advantage of during my undergrad were always for me working towards like, hey, I want to be in graduate school, I want to be a PhD and graduate with a PhD. I really like research, I like the impact that research can make. and this is the field that I want to be in for this and this reason. The importance of why I am saying this is not necessarily like, oh, you have to feel the same way that I did at that point. No, that is not what I am trying to come across as. It is just that I do want you to understand that you have to have confidence in yourself, know who you are and what it is that you want to give out in a sense of yourself. Because at the end of the day, these are the things that are going to set you apart from everybody else. There's nobody in this world who is going to be the same way as you to a core. So take advantage of that and be uniquely you. There has to be a reason why you want to go specifically into this program, this major. Like I mentioned, I think the advice is extremely general, not just for graduate school, but overall. I know whenever I was interviewing for undergrad, I typically selected to be a part of like scholars programs or programs that would allow me to have a scholarship to be able to attend undergraduate universities. And the majority of the time, those programs required interviewing or being part of basically an interview committee of you sitting in, and there's like multiple individuals interviewing you. They kind of take turns, whatever it may be. For graduate school, for the scholarship that I am specifically now a part of, that was also like a panel like interview system, but then it continued to narrow down more into just being like one-on-one sessions, which I typically prefer because I feel like it allows you to have genuine conversations with another individual. And I think that's the importance of it, like making sure that it's a genuine conversation and not necessarily something you feel like you're being interviewed for. I think the exchange of a conversation is important in an interview process, and I hope you get to experience that, because honestly, like, this should just be more or less you being able to ask questions to this university as you're being interviewed, and also for them to get a clear understanding of who you are and why you want to be here. And whenever I say here, it's like this specific university, this specific program, and I think these are all important things. Everybody who goes to a university, whether it's graduate level or undergraduate level, they may mention to you that program, location, university is very important, and I do believe that as well. Mostly because you want to be at a place where you know you're going to be okay, in a sense. You want to be in a place that you have heard already experiences from other graduate students or other undergrads. I feel like if the interview allows for that, you should definitely take advantage of that. I know interviews that I've been a part of in the past have definitely given that, not necessarily like experience, but they have given the option like, oh, like, thank you for interviewing. If you haven't reached out to so-and-so, like, we can make a connection with a student, whatever that may be. Or even then, like, sometimes I myself have asked like, oh, is there a student you recommend reaching out to? I've been trying to learn more about this, whatever it may be. And it doesn't have to be a process of like the formal interview itself, but there's always some time or space in between that allows for that. So you should definitely take advantage of that. My other set of advice is never forget the formality email. So whenever you receive the interview, for example, they may give you like a lot of times, or sometimes they're very strict on the time, like this is the date and time that your interview would be. Make sure that you read that email, you schedule it in your calendar, your planner, whatever it is that works for you. That is extremely important as well. I just bought this highlighter and I have just been using it like over my blush, but I don't care. Anyway, back to this. Yes, making sure that this is of importance to you and you are showing importance, because the last thing you want is like, this is a program that really means a lot to you, that you would want to be a part of, and you are not necessarily showing that. And I think that will definitely show up in your interview and could negatively affect it. So you always want to make a good impression of yourself. I understand that things can happen, but make sure that you are communicating these things clearly. I know for me, whenever I was interviewing, it was like right after COVID. COVID was still going on. Obviously, COVID happened in like 2020, but whenever I started, the interview process was the fall of 23. I mean, not the fall of 23, the fall of 22 and the spring of 23, which I typically believe it's a little bit late. But then again, I'm also making this video in the spring, right? So I've also seen a lot of individuals that are still waiting for their interviews in the spring. So if I would have had a video like this whenever I was going through the process, I feel like it would have made me feel a little bit more at ease that I hadn't heard back from graduate programs just yet. And then again, it's like, how could I have heard back from them whenever the application was just due in December? Like, come on, be realistic, right? But make sure that you, once again, like, make a good first impression of yourself and what this program may mean to you. I once again want to stress the fact that you should research the program, research what it is that this individual may do. And if this is an individual you're interested in working with, it is definitely a great opportunity for you to talk about things that are of interest to you and see how those interests align with this individual. I know specifically for me, like whenever I was doing this, there was potential individuals that I could see myself working with, and I was able to speak about my research interests, what it was that I was interested in doing, and depending on the response, I could see, okay, like this individual has an interest for this, and like based on that interest, like I could see myself working with them in the future or not. And it kind of also helps you be able to know, like, okay, like this is of importance, or maybe this is no longer a subject of like that they are involved in, but they have been involved in the past. But yes, prepare yourself. Make sure that you are relaxed to a sense. Okay, so remember, keep in mind your why of why this interview, why this university, why this program, why the specific research focus. Finding that why is extremely important, so review your past personal statements, go over them, highlight them, whatever it is that you need, but prepare. And don't prepare an excessive amount where you are just like overly nervous. The last thing you want is to be too nervous. I want you to believe in yourself. I want you to be confident, dress confidently, and also professionally, but not something that wouldn't be you. The last thing you want is to be or look uncomfortable in this setting. Make sure you have a reserved space or an area where you can have this interview, letting others know around you that you're going to be booked from this time to this time, just so you are not interrupted. And prepare your questions ahead of time if I haven't said that already. And good luck and congratulations on getting an interview. I know for me it was extremely nerve-wracking, emotional too. Being a first gen, being the first, I mean, I'm the oldest daughter, oldest child overall, right? It can be extremely hard trying to explain this process to other individuals around you who have no idea what it is, what it means. So I hope this video reaches other individuals who truly need it, because I know I needed something like this whenever I was going through the process, and I always felt like nobody could relate. So once again, congratulations, you're now at the interview stage. All that's left is for you to give yourself the final push. And whatever the end result may be, make sure that you feel proud of yourself and acknowledge the fact that you have gone through every step possible to make this work out. And after this, it is no longer in your hands, right? But good luck on your university interview, your graduate school interview. Make sure that you keep in mind that follow-up email like I mentioned. So after your interview, take some notes, reflect, and make sure to thank the individual for their time to being able to speak to you and for you to know the program a little bit better if that was one of the points of conversation. In the end, I can post somewhere around here a template of what would be a good way to address a follow-up email. But yeah, now I basically need to be done so I can go to class.